Hi friends, Namaste. Welcome back to my channel. In this channel we explore meditation, self-inquiry, awakening and more. In this video, we are going to explore the statement, observer is observed, made by J Krishnamurti. Here's a quote from Krishnamurti. Questioner. Is observer different from his thoughts? Krishnamurti. The observer and the observed are one. The thinker and his thoughts are one. To experience the thinker and his thoughts as one is very arduous, for the thinker is ever taking shelter behind his thought. He separates himself from his thoughts, but he remains. This pursuit of thought apart from himself, this changing, transforming it leads to illusion. The thinker is his thought. The thinker and his thoughts are not two separate processes. Here's his suggestion on how to understand it. When you observe a feeling, that feeling comes to an end. But even though the feeling comes to an end, if there is an observer, a spectator, a sensor, a thinker who remains apart from the feeling, then there is still a contradiction. So it is very important to understand how we look at a feeling. Take, for instance, a very common feeling, jealousy. We all know what it is to be jealous. Now, how do you look at your jealousy? When you look at that feeling, you are the observer of jealousy as something apart from yourself. You try to change jealousy, to modify it, or you try to explain why you are justified in being jealous, and so on and so forth. So there is a being, a sensor, an entity apart from jealousy who observes it. For the moment, jealousy may disappear, but it comes back again, and it comes back because you do not really see that jealousy is part of you. What I am saying is that the moment you give a name, a label to that feeling, you have brought it into the framework of the old. And the old is the observer. The separate entity who is made up of words, of ideas, of opinions about what is right and what is wrong. But if you don't name that feeling which demands tremendous awareness, a great deal of immediate understanding, then you will find that there is no observer, no thinker, no center from which you are judging, and that you are not different from the feeling. There is no you who feels it. From this we understand that observer is same as thinker. To understand this, let's observe the thought process. So, relax and allow thoughts to appear. Notice that the thinker or observer wants to stop the thoughts, or change them, or manipulate them. Or the observer may say that will observe without changing or distorting. Observer may not like certain thoughts and wants to avoid or stop those thoughts. Now, notice that even the observer or thinker is part of thoughts. Notice that by observing like thus gaps between thoughts may appear. Notice that in those gaps, there is no thinker, or his thoughts, nor observer, or observed. Notice, observer and observed appear together. There is no separate, independent observer apart from the observed. Notice that certain thoughts separate from thoughts and take the position of a thinker. In this way, observe with a whole movement of thoughts, how certain thoughts want to stop the thoughts, how certain thoughts don't like other thoughts, how certain thoughts judge other thoughts, how certain thoughts want to get rid of other parts of thoughts, how a particular desire wants to get rid of, or sublimate other desires. If we observe the whole movement of thoughts in this way, we will see that there is no thinker or observer apart from thoughts. In this way, we can understand that observer and observed is one. If you observe like this, then thoughts won't disturb you because there will be no you to get disturbed, and thoughts will naturally quieten down. The key here is to observe passively, without judgments, and not observing to stop the thoughts so that they can be peaceful. On the contrary, if one has a motive to stop thoughts, then that person will be frustrated. I have made a video on how to understand thinker is the thought statement by J Krishnamurti. Kindly watch that video also. It may be easier to understand that the statement thinker is the thought than observer is the observed, although they are the same. The link is in the description box below. One more point here. Do not try to understand Krishnamurti intellectually, that is, by thinking about the statements. Instead, directly observe within yourself what is happening, the thought process. Then you will understand his pointings. Okay, friends, I will leave you with that. Namaste.